Alright, so if you don't already know, AOT released, right? Now, with this collaboration, I've been seeing a lot of questions, a lot of community feedback, and a lot of JPKR players furious. God, bro. I did not know that AOT is that popular versus like global. I know it's popular globally, right? But JP, they love their AOT. KR, they love their AOT. And Netmarble, they hate AOT. They clearly released some really wonky units here. I personally think they're not bad. It's just they're mid. Their mid is like weird because they have a lot of potential. It's just I don't even know what it is. It's just stupid little things in their kit that make them a little bit less than what they could have been. I still think that it's not too hard to buff them. And I still think, and this is a outstanding comment the homie Shen had on my last video, where you shouldn't have rushed it. They should have not rushed out that buff because it was as if it was a buff to appease us and shut us up. And that buff was clearly not enough. I would have rather not had the buff temporarily and let them kind of think it over and decide something. Again, yes, the buff came through. The ultimate is much better. The fact that Eren can now crit is much better. But I still think simply he is mid. He's not getting that much change in his kit. Like Transcendence Bond, when he got buffed, he became broken. With this, he still is a little bit lackluster, right? And I think, and this is why I'm going to speak here, I would recommend that if you want these units to get better, again, in my last video, I saw a lot of people saying that they don't want a buff. Why? They need a buff, bro. They need to get a little bit better. Like, if you think about it, this collaboration is the worst collaboration we've ever gotten. I will say that Stranger Things is still a little bit less than this. I think this is better than Stranger Things. I think the joke isn't there. I get it, but remember, Will and Mike weren't good at all. So that's 2 units already chopped off. And then you had 11, which was good for like a week or two. And Jim, which wasn't bad. He actually sees a lot of play here and there back then. So he wasn't bad. But in this case, you do have Levi, kind of more so pretty good unit. In comparison, relatively speaking, he does good on some teams. Mikasa's actually pretty good in PvE, I heard. Well, you got me here, but for the most part, we'll say it's a little bit better than Stranger Things. I still think so. Just a little bit. But I still think that they definitely fumbled the bag here, right? And I hope that people understand this video when they watch this video. They take this as advice. I would recommend you don't summon on day 1 if you're on the fence about it. If you love AOT and you don't care, just go and summon. Go ahead. I'm going to stop you, right? But if you want to, potentially see these units potentially get a buff, I want to summon day 1 and give it a little bit of time. I'm curious if Netmarble sees the global sales and then decides, yeah, we gotta help them out a little bit, right? Because first off, a lot of my comments did say that they're going to skip. And the reason is that if this is the precedent you're going to have for future collaborations, like this is sad at how bad these units were handled, right? If you look at it, Jobless is a shining star in the sky, and this is a dying lantern. I don't even know how to describe it. Like, genuinely, Jobless is 10 times miles better than these characters, and I've tried these characters. I've tried using them. I've tried my best to make them work. They do okay, right? And I personally think that if Chaos Arthur is not the next festival that gives these 2 characters huge buffs, it's they're done for. I think that as new metas release, and you realize how quick a meta goes in this game, you had tearing up. Get it? Tearing up. How's it going? Tearing up PvP for a while, and look what happened, right? Now Eren's here, Eren absolutely destroys Tier. If you don't run Eren, then Tier will still be a PvP menace, but Eren just folds Tier like an omelet. But Eren then gets folded by Demon Team, even Human Team actually kind of folds him. If you're going against if you get out CC'd, Eren can fall pretty fast, which is crazy to me, but for the most part, he's an unknown team killer. Other than that, he really doesn't see too much play. And remember, the current big meta that PvP is running right now is literally Demon King. Demon King is running rampant everywhere. Every time I try to load into a match, it's just Demon King, different variations of that team. So, that means that you have to use Levi, and then at the point when Levi, or when Demon King gets, dropped off, or whatever happens, remember how fast meta is going in this game? I personally don't think these units are going to last. If you look at it like Echidna, they last and everything. Again, it's not that they're bad, it's just the only real festival unit we have left that's human is Chaos Arthur. And who knows when he releases. If it releases next, then you have the Copium that they get better. But I still think that their innate kit as it is right now, it still needs a little bit of help. And I hope that a buff comes through. Hence why I'm saying that if you want to wait day 1, give it some time. Maybe they give us a buff here once they see the sales are pretty down. But if you don't care, again, you can go and summon onto the should you summon part of it. Remember, regardless of anything, it is a new collaboration for the reason of it is giving you 5 characters that you potentially do not have. That, with box CC, is pretty freaking good, plus 2 units you also may not have, so let's say 7 pretty solid units for Box CC that can actually kind of help your account a little bit. Again, it's fully up to you and what you want to do here. You have to also realize that the rate on the collab is pretty good, being a 50-50 chance when you get an SSR of that being one of these. More than a 50-50 if you want to consider, if you count this unit, which is another good unit. Her first return in a few months, still a very solid and a very fun unit to use. So altogether, it's more than a 50-50 chance to get a potentially good SSR, which in my opinion is a very solid banner, right? I still think so. If when it's a rerun banner, it has a much better rate, so I call it a much better banner than a new collaboration, because when a new collaboration is there, it's a 1 in 3 chance to get a collaboration SSR versus a rerun being a 50-50, which you see a big difference, and it's not even a 50-50, it's like a 55-45, right? That's what it is. So for the most part, I would summon if you want to pick up for the box CC and collection purposes, and maybe in the future if Chaos Arthur releases, they get a little bit of support, but for the most part, I think that they're very niche characters. If you want to like remove the title of mid, you could call them niche. I think that they work on some teams and they can do really good, but don't expect to win every single match in a full-on slaughter. More so expect to win a match here, win a match there, win a match here, lose a match, lose a match, lose a match, win a match, and then so forth in different manners, right? That's kind of how I feel these units really are. And I would recommend if you are a free-to-play player and you don't have Transcendent Bond, LRS, or Diane's Relic, and other things like that, maybe you don't want to pull, because again, they require those teams heavily. I've tried other teams and they just don't really work. They don't do too well. But I would say that again, it is collection purposes. Will I summon on global? I will not summon day 1. I will be waiting on the banner, maybe a week or 2, and then decide. I'll see what the next banner is. We kind of know it's a lane, so it's fully up to you. And then with a lane, she could be a pretty good unit, but there is a festival next month, and again, every festival usually is good. This year we had very good festivals. Again, yes, I'm counting Bond as good. You might say no because comments still say Bond is mid, but for the most part, every festival this year was very solid. So up to you, but I might just save for that. Again, I am more so wanting to collect all units, so maybe I pick up the copy and then give up. The rate is pretty good, so I am also missing Titan Errant, so that's 3 brand new units. Getting dupes for Roxy is also pretty good. So maybe I would pull, but I will wait the time period and then make my decision, because again, I just want to see what's next. I was really hoping for a good collaboration here. I saw AOT, I'm fine with it. I was just hoping for some really solid units. They released, they weren't the best of the best, but definitely not the worst, right? They're in the middle, right? They need a little bit of help. They're in a niche spectrum right now. Post buff, they still are kind of niche. So I do think that after time and after a little bit, maybe Chaos Arthur revives them, right? If you want to cope on that aspect of it. But I think for the future, like, I don't know if they're going to last for a month or 2 if there's no human buff. I don't think so. Like, we got our human units, so what are they going to do now? That's something that we'll have to find out ourselves. So at the end of the day, fully up to you on what you want to do. For the free-to-play aspect of it, remember, they're not really PvE units at all either. They're really relegated to PvP. The PvE unit is over here with Mikasa, which I think she's not bad actually, but she's no Kizuna, and I still think she's no Eris. She's for the reason of not needing Rudis, she's better than Eris, but really I think that Eris and Kizuna already kind of take up a lot of the spots for my PvE teams, so I don't really need her. But definitely if you want to pick her up, you know, for the Relic and whatnot, it's going to be a decent thing for PvE. If you don't have Eris or Kizuna, it could help you out a little bit, because it's actually not that bad. It's not that bad at all, right? So that's what I got for you today. Hopefully you enjoyed that little video. Just a quick little talk. I would highly recommend also on a free-to-play aspect of it, just wait and don't summon day 1 for the reason also. Maybe you pull it on the free summons, right? You're getting 5 free multis. So just let the summons go by, do all the 5 free multis, and then pull with gems, because if anything, all free-to-play should do that. But if you like the units, summon for the units. It's an AOT, it's an IP. It's going to be fun. Have fun with it. I'm not stopping you, so keep that in mind.